So let's get into game number 2 here and see if Cloud9 will get another early lead and be able to finish it here, or if, you know, Team Liquid are going to sweep the series.
And it's interesting because it felt like they picked so heavily for lane in that 2v2, but that's not really where they got the big payoff in the Caitlyn in this game. They got very little turret damage down. The CS was about even, but he performed exceptionally well in the team fights, and I think TL as a whole shined much more heavily during the macro game in the later stages than they really did in the early game.
Interesting little wrinkle here. We have, since Team Liquid are on red side now, they've banned out the Swain. They don't want to let that one get first pick. So Cloud9 sticking with the same strategy, and it'll be stronger this time around. They've been the 3 Uber tanks out here from Impact, yet he won't have the Swain option.
So let's see if Liquid get rid of Xayah like they did last time around, and what bans will drop off the face of the earth for this squad here. Cloud9, of course, could take the Xayah for themselves and then secure the duo later on in the rotation. 3 seconds to go.
Well, we already know it's going to be Gangplank or Xayah that are left up compared to last game. So it is a Xayah first pick that is available here. And if Cloud9 decides to go for the Ryze, then Xayah Rakan is open as that bot lane duo here for TL if they want to grab it.
Ooh, I like it from Cloud9, though. They've had enough of these Ryze ultimates changing their games with Team Liquid. A lot of it was you know, macro movements in that last game.
This is interesting as well because Liquid, of course, opting away from this incredibly popular bot lane duo, keeping the Caitlyn. We've seen a Morgana counterpick, super common as well, into the matchup, and that option, of course, is available. They can just give that over, apparently.
Exactly, and Xayah Rakan, very strong bot lane, but they know that they have the Caitlyn Morgana as an answer, so C9 perhaps going to shy away from that a little bit. We'll see if they elect to go for something a little bit more aggressive on the bottom side of the map this time around.
So far, a lot of similar answers here, and Cloud9 going to have the Abyssal Voyage again. They're going to have the playmaking, though. In addition to that, the Ryze ultimate. So even more mobility, and we'll see if they can capitalize.
Very interesting, taking with every single support, unless I'm missing something, you can kind of consider Ornn and Sion. They say, no, Tahm Kench is the one we really, really want here. Put anything into it, and Cassiopeia will counterpick Ryze. Yeah,
and I mean, honestly, if you're not even going to lose lane to a Caitlyn Nami, then you can pick whatever you want for lane, and the fact that it's so good into the Skarner is always going to make it an advantageous pick, even this early on in the draft.
So I expect Cloud9 then, since Team Liquid are not picking up Braum or something like that, to throw their bans at the Tahm Kench answers for lane here. But if you do that, then Team Liquid, maybe they're just planning on going double range, duo lane bottom again, and just trying to siege and pressure turret once again. So a little bit up in the air there, whereas Team Liquid taking down the AD carries.
As we saw from last game, Liquid's just high damage backline was good enough for them. The Caitlyn, of course, was huge. Pobelter instead of Ryze this time around will have Cassiopeia. Does mean less lane movements available. We saw Pobelter did a really good job with the Realm Warps and his teleports from before. And of course now we are into that second ban phase. No Jhin for Sneaky. Once again the Braum ban comes through. Let's see what it is they want to do here.
It'll also be very interesting. I mean, C9 has the opportunity to throw even another ban at the top lane if they want to try to do that and really try to get some sort of a good matchup there for Licorice. And because last time, despite the fact that Licorice picked after the Swain, despite the fact they threw those 3 bans, it was actually Impact that had most of the pressure during the laning phase. I think Licorice was able to really succeed in the later stages, but we'll see if they want to try to go for a strong 1v1. I mean, this is a tremendous amount of top lane bans.
Yeah, definitely a lot of focus up here, and a lot of the options for Licorice also being taken out. So both these guys being pushed way down the tier list. Meanwhile, the Morgana that you kind of mentioned, the double range matchup here from Team Liquid will come once again. Have to worry about those bindings in lane phase as well if you are Cloud9.
There's potential for just going something like a Shen here, especially with all the global presence you already have. When you're looking at a lot of the safe blind pick tanks, those are already off the table. So, you know, looking at the champion pool here for Licorice, it does start to get a little bit thin outside of the carries now.
The Shen play didn't look that great for Cloud9 last time around that we did see it, though.
But it's tough because when you look at his champion pool, you know, a lot of the blind Firoa. So he's saying, you're going to pick a tank. And we'll see if there's any actual real answer here for Impact. He's the one with the counter picks so much put towards that top lane. We're not seeing Riven.
Hey. Darius! Darius!
Darius is a pick I can get behind. Well, singed.
TLA's top laner is Riven, or sorry, Viper. Those are the same word basically, but
yeah! All right, let's go.
Singed in the top lane, my absolute favorite top laner. I think this champion is amazing. Fling versus Riposte is going to be a fun mind game. You have to do it on prediction on both sides, and oh, I'm excited.
The kind of one of the funny things about this is you don't really have to care about the riposte that much besides the fling. You can actually just kind of run around on top of him without using the fling, and riposte affects your attack speed, but Singe does not really care about attack speed whatsoever. It's a matchup that can push Fiora in pretty heavily, that can be very difficult for Fiora to deal with, and we have seen Impact bring this out in the past. That said, if you get put behind on the Singed, it can be difficult to find usefulness in this game.
Yeah, a lot of times too, as a Singe, you can just run up to them like you're going to fling, and then instead put W down on them. And at the first half of the animation, sometimes they get a little jittery, do it early, and it's always fun to watch those interactions.
I mean, this is a ballsy pick, the blind pick Fiora. And yes, there's a tremendous amount of top lane bans, but still. I mean, this is kind of, I think, them saying you don't have any other answers left for the Fiora, right? Because I don't think that you do that if this is Huni or someone like that, right? Who has that kind of endless champion pool.
Well, it's going to be a fun one to watch for. We're getting ourselves into the game. The lineup's on your screen. The fans are ready, and so are we. 8.5 still the patch. Fiora into Singe in the top lane. Can Licorice play the way he did in the first half of the split? Can Cloud9 play the way they did in the first half of the split and hold on to a push toward the finals?
Already some pretty interesting stuff here for the top lane. It's actually going to be grass for Fiora, so a lot of people do go Klepto when you're looking at that on ladder, Klepto and press the attack and these sorts of things. So it is grass. This is a little bit more defensive, more survivable for this lane, and plus the door and shield. And it's Aftershock on the other side. It's not Airy, which is traditionally more lane dominant.
Yeah. Do like the guaranteed sustain of grass rather than, oh, I better get a potion or I better get, you know, some sort of good steal here to be able to keep up with all the constant poison damage.
Right. And it makes you pokey as well, right? You do like 4% or so of your max HP as damage on the guy, so you just tag the Singed, you deal some percent of his max HP, some percent of your max HP, and you whittle him down because you're not trying to all-in the guy who literally wants to dot you to death. So I do like, I think, the approach there for Licorice. He'll also be tankier over time. You can maybe withstand some ganks. Either way, a fun game to look at here as we have switched sides, and Ezreal here for Sneaky, of course. Jensen's taken over the mid laner that Pobelter played in the last game. And this is going to be a very fun one as the junglers are playing the same champions as before.
Yeah, the funnest of jungle champions. The Skarner and Sejuani, rarely seen.
Oh boy. You can't get it all, Kobe. You got the Fiora, you got the Singe.
Just burning through the jungle with those Cinderhawks.
Hey, at least Skarner kills camps really fast. So he's burned through the jungle.
That's true, that's
in
true.
general. Yeah, 2 wolf goes in a row.
So, you know, I was thinking of saying this last time, but also someone tweeted me to talk about it as well. A lot of times when you see the wolf starts, people will not get all the way to level 2 by not taking the full camp. So then you get an added bonus experience because of your jungle item on the next big monster you kill, which would be blue buff. And then you can return to the rest of the wolf camp, and you'll end up with just an extra bonus there. But he has not done it 2 times in a row because, you know, you do get the extra level, and Skarner having your E does help you clear that blue buff decently yourself.
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
good vitals.
It's kind of the trade-off for more XP versus a healthier or faster clear, right? So it is going to be a little bit slower if you elect to go for that, and he's been kind of just going for speed. And based off last game, he did this start, he did 6 camp clear, and then base, and he's kind of just going for efficiency.
And once again, this top lane can be influenced as much as we talk about you know, the annoying factor of Singed, especially early on. Well, actually, talk about early on. Svenskeren not going to waste any time before he heads up to the top side. Impact, though, is getting shoved in.
Very close to the turret. Has Aftershock as well in case he needs to get tanky. Nice
Oh,
riposte.
nice.
Finds the stun. Game won by Licorice. Gets the kill. It will be a trade. And he's stuck behind the turret. Skarner's right behind him. He's got nowhere to go. Licorice says, I am. Smoothie says, I am hungry. Finds the shutdown. Thank you very much for the kill.
Yeah, it started out so great with the riposte. Oh, I'm in tower range. I'm predicting Impact's going to want to throw me in. However, they take an extra hit there with the tower. 2 kills go over.
It actually looked like they got punished there for trying to give that first blood to Licorice. Svenskeren stopped attacking, and if you watch this, it's a beautiful initial parry. Rick gets the mind game kind of win here. So stunning him up, you think, okay, that's first blood right there. But as they go in, Svenskeren says, oh, great, we killed him. First blood. I'll back out. I'll let Licorice get it. It takes an extra attack for Licorice to do it.
He then flashes as well, still dies even with the Triumph heal coming in, and the cleanup for Xmithie is ever so easy. Whew. extra gold there over to Team Liquid's side. Let's see what they do with it, though. Xmithie then, now level 4 on the Skarner, gets to keep double buffs as well.
Yeah, plus Impact is honestly not even really behind off that because he got the, even though it's not first blood, he gets the kill plus the assist, so almost dead even in gold, and he's going for kind of hyper efficiency in his early items. Stacking Dark Seals plus the Corrupting is really a lot of early game power.
Yeah, since he died first, he actually gets all the stacks from Glory because they're not removed to get them while you're dead as well. So here's 3 stacks.
And here comes round 2 in the top lane. Flashless for Impact. Easy knock up there. Stun shouldn't be hard. One more auto. Gets that one in, but there's no chase to be had. Nice goop comes down. Quick little taunt. I'm singed and walks away pretty cleanly. However, this lane is freezing against him. It's pushing towards Licorice's turret.
Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job, though, all things considered so far. And you know, when you look for those chases, sometimes people really underestimate the early game damage of Singed. With a couple Dark Seals, with the Corrupting Potion burn ticking, and your base damage, it's actually a tremendous amount of early game damage. So you do end up with quite a bit of power if they're in that poison.
Yeah, that being said, as much as people like to bring up the first rule of League of Legends and meme about never chasing Singed, in that case, you actually wanted to fully chase Singed and commit to the kill because...
Chase Singed harder, that's rule number 2.
Yeah, oh gosh. Yeah,
they
please, everyone.
But
if you're against me in the top lane, just chase the Singed all the time. Trust me.
Into the turret,
it'll work out in the end.
Turret, exactly.
Yeah, my ulti's on. It's okay. You'll catch me eventually. Impact going to get another Vital taken away, and Boneplate at least drops some of the damage output on this one. Level 5 on both these players, but a pretty big farm lead for Licorice, which means his gold is ever so slightly ahead by about 150. Rest of the map, though, pretty close to equal. Other than that, DoubleLift, of course, winning his lane, as Caitlyn does.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Xmithie try and make use of his Predator. You know, Skarner, he was able to get first, well, that's some sort of a use.
He tried.
Jensen backed off the minion wave for a little bit. Still going to be able to get the cannon minion probably, though, as he mouses away. DoubleLift there, though. Damage in the last game, as we talked about in the intro.
Did quite nicely. Bind's going to land. And now a fight in this jungle.
The collapse on Smoothie coming in.
Smithie's buffed up. Jensen coming around. They're going to find the stun here. Pobe's nearby, and you've got to worry about what's going to happen with Licorice. Does riposte. Gets away from the stun of Pobe. Turns the other way around. Now a fling brings Svenskeren into danger, and he's going to fall. Impact finds himself his 2nd kill, 2-1-1.
I love the
Bind. Nice jump. All right, he should be fine. Olleh does have Ignite, but not going to commit because he would have gotten heal against it.
Bottom lane, though, really taking their toll here. DoubleLift and Olleh pushing in for some more turret damage after this one. Sneaky, pretty much forced a recall there.
That was pretty close there. Gave Sneaky a little bit of a haircut, but didn't flinch.
He gets Tear for himself to stack up the mana, but yeah, has a very far deficit in this lane now, 16 behind. We watch this fight in the top jungle again.
Yeah, Smoothie trying to get in there for a little bit of warding, but the collapse is coming much faster from C9 due to the pushing waves.
Yeah, and Ryze ultimate comes over. Licorice is first down there. They're all in retreat here, and Pobelter tries to get the Cassiopeia ultimate, but Impact, the Singed, picked in this game, and he's kind of the center of the story of this game as well. He gets the fling in, and now it's actually 2 kills on that Singed.
5 stacks on a Dark Seal, 15 extra ability power. That always feels pretty nice as he's adding more and more, and I'm so glad he's actually going towards a damage-focused build, towards the Haunted Geyser, Leandry's first item. I think full tank is not quite the right build, so I'm glad he's capitalizing on his lead.
It'd be pretty interesting to see if he does go for Haunted Geyser. I also have seen more and more just kind of early Rylai's on Singed because that item has been buffed, and it's so frustrating, especially when it is multiple melees who could be attacking you. It becomes very difficult to perform those chase downs.
And look at this. Team Liquid returned to that blue quadrant of the jungle. They double counter jungle him, where Pobelter taking care of the blue buff by himself, and Xmithie really getting in there. Now Skarner, huge experience lead here. He does have the level 6, and his Predator is back up, so looking to get the Stinger a little bit more action.
Let's see who he tries to take down and who Impale is going to target. Xmithie, of course, already 2 takedowns, one towards the top lane, one of the jungle, meaning he's got more active item CDR, courtesy of his runes here. Another fight in the top side, and this time around the mind game is won, but ulti pop might mean the chase down. He can flash for the last vital, but that's not going to be the play he makes. He learned from Darshan. You would not have gotten the kill off that one. And out they go. Health bar is low, but Impact regenning.
And not only was Team Liquid able to follow that kill up with a counter jungle on the blue quadrant, but you can see, you know, the power of Skarner here. He has more to clear as well, so Xmithie is just furthering his lead clearing out the bottom side jungle as well. Actually, bottom lane actually is the target.
Morgana ulti.
They're going to still get a Smoothie, who is not going to be able to get away from anything. Doesn't even burn the cleanse to walk out of it, but it might be a trade. They will get it. He nabbed the kill, stays alive. He baited it the whole time. Xmithie's going to lose his life. Kill credit has to go to Sneaky. The dance spam comes out. Smoothie's feeling himself. 2 for 0 in the bot lane.
Cloud9 strike back here, and Jensen's right back up to the mid lane as well with the quick roam. Not gonna lose out on many minions. Double buffed on the Ezreal. Woo, what a big swing.
Yeah, Smoothie styling on him a little bit, not even blowing a summoner there to survive, but they're trying to pull off the 2-man dive here on Licorice.
All right, Licorice, how sneaky can you be onto this one? Nice try in the bait, not gonna go for the stuns just yet. He's still trying to get away from Cassiopeia.
Oh, what a parry.
Some damage, but it doesn't matter. Oh, he tried, the flash wasn't worth it, but maybe the re-engage. Smoothie gonna lick him, the cleanse away, has flash. He can live if he wants to, and does so. Nice dive, they get the kill and they get out.
That was, oh wait, Jensen is on the hunt now. He's on the trail. Can he blast cone?
Can he guess where they're going? He's gonna find one. The flash, he's got the damage output, the solo kill. Jensen does it all.
Not able to have the timer for the assist money bonus for Cloud9, but in the end they do find some revenge for Licorice's death. In this game, while it's all action-packed, it's ending up fairly even as far as the gold is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, we're just about dead even, and here's the play again. I couldn't believe Smoothie actually held on to his cleanse through the Morgana ultimate, the binding and everything. You know, they see them all flying in, but Svenskeren is coming. He's able to survive just long enough with the heal to get the gray health off there, and then with the TP coming in, they're able to chase him down.
Yeah, Svenskeren was recalling. He instantly cancels his recall, heads on over.
Oh no, the laugh.
Just amazing.
All right, so you can tell here he's waiting the entire time for the Cassiopeia ultimate for the riposte, and then he goes in, gets the vital, and almost gonna be able to get the second one there.
Yeah, if he hit that last vital, should have probably been able to kill him and even get out. But Jensen hunting him down, finds Pobelter, and Impact's like, well, sorry, can't help you, bud.
Flashes while the miasma is en route to get right over it. Gets the kill.
All right, so Jensen has already solo killed Pobelter once this series. Mini kappa on that one. Obviously, there was some help from the turret and everything else.
You
made that same joke twice already.
Yeah, I'm just calling it back out.
Have you seen his Twitter? He just keeps doing it.
That's true.
Stay tuned. 400 gold, 300 gold lead for Cloud9 as Jensen Quicksilver Sash early on with the pickups there. 0 ability power in his item slots, 4,000 gold into the game.
But he's got a real big blue bar.
Yeah. Well, the bar's not any bigger, it's just denser, I guess. It's a black hole of mana. Shots come back and forth. Wave is going okay, and Sneaky once again has stabilized the bot lane farm-wise, and courtesy of all the ganks that went down, there's actually up in kills as well. Let's see where the next bit of pressure ends up being. Top laners remain 6 CS apart, but still a lot of credit on this 6-stack Dark Seal impact.
Yeah, and honestly, one of the biggest things about this lane is how much easier it is, I feel, for Singe to actually contribute to a team fight than it is for the Fiora, right? Yeah. Fiora, most of your success cases are in the side lanes, are split pushing, and is kind of scaling up and dominating in that 1v1. Whereas Impact, especially with the Aftershock, can simply group and look to really force fights where it's going to be tough for Licorice unless he has perfect parries.
Yeah, it's interesting how this game has actually split the gold leads here. While it's very close in overall gold, it's you know, Impact and Xmithie for Team Liquid, this kind of top half of the map that have the majority of their gold leads, whereas Jensen and Sneaky for Cloud9, the 2 carries on the bottom side, have seen Nine's you know, bit of advantage there and are looking to try and push it. Ezreal also getting some of those multipliers to scale up, so C9 want to play off this bottom side.
Ward saw them. Look at the run warp now. Yeah, DoubleLift does not have flash, but the black shield's there. Burns heal for some move speed, and out they go. Some time with this turret, though, could be a quick pickup where the wave is running out.
Singe is coming in from behind.
And the bine's going to land. Here's Impact getting rooted up in place. Looking a bit forward to Sven as well, but not going to pull the trigger all the way just yet. Xmithie waiting with Predator on, but not in there as well. Quick wave clear out of Sneaky, and looks like they get to walk away no problems. Both TPs were used.
All right, the Drake is up, so we may have a continuation here. Looks like Team Liquid trying to zone them off this Cloud Drake.
Cloud Drake's really nice. Again, it's a run-at-you team with Skarner and Singe both having to run to make their plays happen. So this is actually quite nice for Liquid. Of course, this Cloud Drake was buffed to give in-combat movement speed, so a pretty nice fit for them.
And we'll see if TL wants to try to make a play around the bottom side, because otherwise you have to feel their turret is just going to get knocked down eventually. A first brick still is available to be grabbed up, and that TL bottom turret is so low, so they either need to be in position for a counterplay or do something of their own.
Yeah, and as we said, you know, a lot of their power is in their jungle, the roamer, and then Impact, who just uses teleport with Singe, and he'll probably just, you know, continue to push now. So it is going to be a bit risky.
I also really do like the Ryze. You know, that was one of the options we kind of pointed out, and I think it is so strong specifically into melee matchups like this. That item plus the Ninja Tabbies just together make it really difficult for Firoa.
You can see how easy it is for Impact to shove the wave in. Licorice will not fight him inside a Poison Trail, but gets to wave through lifesteal afterwards.
I like this from Team Liquid too. You know, you brought up the point about the tower on bottom, Azael. Team Liquid have opted to just give that up because they don't see a play saving it, and do an early swap, Olleh and DoubleLift now on the top side, to try and push down Impact's turret.
You're going to see if this shove does come through as DoubleLift walks in, and they're going to be racing it sneaky. As long as there's any kind of decent wave clear, it should be no problem. Xmithie, no problem in knocking down Shelly here, and it does look like Liquid will be slower on the play. No one is defending Ezreal. Sneaky, 650, I believe, is the total local gold for getting a first turret here. Buffs himself with the WE combo, and as we watch, the money comes in, and there's the 650.
And that's actually a pretty significant gold advantage, putting him 1,400 gold ahead of DoubleLift. And TL do get the Rift Herald. They do not have a lot of turret damage down, but you're expecting them to convert on it now with this.
And speaking of builds, I really do like the Trinity Force Ezreals rather than the Iceborne Gauntlet. Even though in this one you're like, oh, Skarner and Singe are pretty good to kite, Sneaky having a lot of this early money and rushing towards the Trinity Force, you can actually just kill people rather than trying to kite them. Trinity Force does so much more damage than just the Iceborne.
Of course it does. And I think especially having a Morgana on the opposing team nerfs Iceborne Gauntlet so much. It's useless in that regard. And again, I do like how the Morgana's going to combo with a Rocket U champion and Singed and Skarner to make them very much harder to peel.
I'm going to be really interested to now track where Impact goes from here. You know, he has committed to kind of a very easy one damage into tank type build, you know, with his Ryze, but there's a lot of options. You can go for the multiple damage items. We'll see if Licorice can chase him down. Does get a lot of move speed, but again, so hard into the Ryze to really get that. He's coming down.
Is he going to guess? No, he's not going to get that one quite right. Now he's going to do it against Xmithie with the attempt with the ultimate. Doesn't even need it. They're going to wait it out. No ulti to be used. The Poison Trail makes it happen. A nice kill in the bot lane.
And the important part is Impact laughing. We don't never know. Meanwhile, though, Cloud9 looking topside. They do have, again, Abyssal Voyage from Tahm Kench, Realm Warp from Ryze, so the possibility of counterplay is always there. Whenever Team Liquid overload one side of the map, they have to be very wary about the cross-map play. It's not going to take place, though, as DoubleLift playing defensively at his turret, and they don't give up anything.
I'm personally hoping to see Impact go for a Leandries plus the Ryze, then into tank. I do think that that two-item build is so powerful, and especially if you're trying to survive in the 1v1 against Licorice, building damage is more effective to win that 1v1 than it is to build tank, but either way, he's going for Righteous Lord.
Exactly, yeah. Riley's on a Righteous Lord, Ninja Tabby in, wants to survive, and he's going to keep his Dark Seal for the ability power stack, and wants to transition into being a tank. So it will be a two-tank team for Liquid, as that top lane is being fought back and forth.
Is worth shouting out as well, Licorice with the speed boot spy so that he can reduce the slows that are constantly going to be coming out of this Team Liquid squad. But again, all eyes are top at the moment. Licorice has no TP for Cloud9, so Team Liquid were looking to try and take a little bit of an advantage there.
Teleport timer 2 seconds faster for Impact. Shouldn't mean anything, but theoretically, a power play 2 seconds long. If anyone can do it, Liquid can. I believe in them.
All right, well, would it be better if it was 4 seconds?
Yes.
Yes. It would be twice as good. Approximately twice as good. But either way, it's going to be interesting to see where Licorice goes here too, as far as his item build, because traditionally you see people building more into something like Ravenous Hydra plus Black Cleaver. When you are going to be isolated in a 1v1 potentially against a Singe or maybe even a Cassio in the side lane, things like a Maw become more kind of effective and more potentially interesting, but that makes you even weaker, I think, in a team fight if you decide to go there.
And if we look at last game as an example, DoubleLift in the late game, the Caitlyn, the huge crits that he's getting coming through, you know, even though he is like the AD threat, the only AD threat on this team, he's playing it well, and he is a reliable one-man attack damage threat.
True enough. So if DoubleLift can bash down the front line, it's going to go really easily for Liquid. Again, this game's still very close, though. 200 gold separates. Cloud Drake gives speed to Liquid though in rotations and even in team fights. Waiting for the next big play. Righteous Glory being done. That could be the signal as the teleports are up for both these teams. And as you're mentioning before, Firoa, not the best team fighter, might signal an attempt for a 5v5. Predator, I believe that's not actually used.
I think it's
I know
certainly
it was timed out.
Certainly a reasonable option for Impact to go for this Righteous Glory, especially if you want to not try to continue to hold in the 1v1, but instead force team fights. It's so powerful. With the move speed you're getting, not only from your passive, from the drifting, but from the Righteous Glory, plus your ultimate, you really can close the gap so fast.
And you cannot QSS a fling from Singe. So, you know, while Tahm Kench, again, is on Cloud9's side, if he eats someone up, then he'll just get flung into the team with them.
Yeah. Deliver 2 people. Bigger meal. More to chomp on, and Caitlyn could keep getting fed. Xmithie heading to the top side, not envisioned just yet, and now with the controller up, they know what's going on, but Olleh helping to keep the backside alive. This turret taking some shots, but Pobelter is defending this turret so very low, but Liquid defending it well. Ooh. Jensen's okay just for now. Getting under pressure, they can see Singe in that bottom tri-brush as Fiora's taking the back foot in that lane. The blind pick from Licorice, you expect the matchup to go Impact's way. He picked into it. So far, he's got more pressure.
Team Liquid seem to be getting the better here. If Jensen or if Pobelter is able to hold on the top side, Sneaky though, using that money, using his Trinity Force poke to push him off the turret so that Cloud9 are able to trade the outer turret in exchange for this Ocean Drake. I think Team Liquid are happy to pick up the extra Drake here though and continue stacking.
And if C9 can play heavily around Sneaky, I mean, not only did he get solo first turret gold, he gets the top lane turret gold there for local. He stacked his Cull. I mean, that is a really big gold differential as far as the AD carries go. That is more than the entire differential between the two teams. He's up 2K. So this Ezreal is going to hit 3 items at such a ridiculously fast pace and going to be a monster in the team fights.
And they're going to have to abuse that timing because DoubleLift, if they allow Caitlyn again to get through all of his crit multipliers, eventually is going to have that similar effect to last game. So Cloud9, they can't let this one go the way of last game where they had this huge 7,000, over 7,000 gold lead.
Yep.
If Team Liquid are able to, stall it out once again, then we could have a similar situation.
Interesting item choice by Xmithie. He actually went for a rushed Zeke's Harbinger, which is a persistent AoE slow around himself when he pops his ultimate. So even though you often think of it as bot to buff your AD carry, which is certainly great with DoubleLift Caitlyn, also makes Skarner a perma-slow threat, which I find very interesting, and I haven't seen that build in Pro yet. We'll see if that means a lot in team fights later on. We have Pobelter waiting in the wings, Xmithie nearby.
I do kind of like it now that they're thinking more about it. Well, let's see here if Xmithie actually face checks. But you get to that stage on Skarner where the QSSs are already coming through. It's this versus Tahm Kench team. A lot of the options for the ultimate are being reduced. But and here we go.
And that could mean the pull on the front line. QSS popped in a fling and a flashing away. And look at the damage output! Olleh, goodbye. He's gone already.
In a 2v4, they're the ones who get the kill, and it's actually, it seems like more expended there from TL also. C9's bot lane just so strong.
Yeah, I want to see the replay too. If Smoothie QSS is airborne to get the flash off, or he just flashes after it, but Sneaky's damage output, definitely a punishment there for going for the big play, and they are getting punished even further with objectives.
Oh, a stun. There's still a flash on Xmithie, but the health bar's running out, and Sneaky on a killing spree finds his third. Now they got to run away, though. Cassiopeia is threatening, finds a stun. Smoothie still running. Sneaky the same around the back line, but they're missing members. Keep in mind, Impact shows up for the play, gonna find the fling on the tankiest member. More shots coming in. There's the root, looking for the power. Through it all, and they can't get the kill. It's Pobelter with DoubleLift. They found a second. Pob's got to run away, and now Olleh right back in this one. Almost finds an overload on his face. Double gonna knock down the minion wave. That was a close fight, all things considered.
It started out so well for Cloud9, making use of the pick that they were, or the counter kill that they were able to get, but then they stay too long trying to chase here, and they are able to give up so much. Here we go.
Yeah, and here's the initial 4-man play onto the C9 bottom lane, so an early devour there from Tahm Kench, and he's gonna get ulted into the fling, QSS flash. Sneaky just jumps right out and picks off Olleh. And he was definitely not expecting that much damage to come through. And then here is the follow-up on the second turret.
Part number 2. They go for the kill under the turret. They burst down Xmithie. Then on the retreat here, really good miasma from Pobelter. Keep them in range. Even got the stun off there at the end. but it's Impact on the Singe coming through. He baits them. They chase the Singe into the small corridor here where Cassiopeia and Caitlyn are just dealing out the damage, and Team Liquid are able to pick up some kills on the back of their own.
Yeah, getting those kills back, very important when C9 had knocked down turrets here too.
Rule 1 of League of Legends. Or they failed at Rule 2. They should have chased harder.
Chased it into the turret. That's what they did.
If only they were under the turret, that would have went so much better for
yeah.
Cloud9. All right, they know for next time. And look at this, Licorice going for a squishy killing build. Trinity Force going towards, and now they might find Sneaky gets chomped up, and Smoothie's got to run. Woo! Here comes the fling, and they're going to get that kill. No problems at all. Damage comes through, Pob gets the credit. Sneaky losing flash now.
And they do have Cassio. Baron is live at this point in the game, so you have to remember the threat onto Baron is so high to be able to burn that down. We'll see when they're going to try to pull the trigger on that, if they want to try to go for any sort of rush down.
Impact on this Singe, really a monster. Yeah. He can come team fight with them through the Righteous Glory purchase. He's also extremely strong in the side lane here. Can't be stopped. He's pushing up the lane. Meanwhile, on top side, though, Pobelter on the Cassiopeia, not as durable.
He's going to get found out with a little bit of damage, cleanses it, but the damage output with the more rune prisons coming across, pops in his shield. Sven still on the chase, finds not the second slow, and he's going to get out of this one. Here comes Predator, here comes re-engage, and they're going to get out in time.
Little bit of a switcheroo right there. Now Cloud9 are able to exit. That was a very close collapse from Team Liquid, coming to try and save Pobelter there under his turret.
Oh, bind!
Oh, both teams really pretty well coordinated in those attacks. The sneaky Ezreal ultimate coming in right as they're going for the Sejuani ultimate on the Pobelter, and then the escape so nice from Jensen with that Ryze ultimate. And that got out Impact's TP, which is pretty big here. Going to give Firoa a little bit more time in the side lane. So here's the initial play. Watch the timing on this Ezreal ult and Sejuani ult coming through.
Honestly, good play on both sides. Pobelter is able to cleanse out. He pops the Seraphs for just enough defense to survive. Kites under his turret with the Ghost here as well, buying time for Team Liquid to collapse. And they get there just after the nick of time, as Jensen had early started the Realm Warp, creating the exit for the little feint play they had.
Do you know if grounding turns off Ryze ultimate? I feel like it would, but I've not seen Ryze in this singed basically ever.
I feel that it would as well, but I'm not actually sure on the exact interaction there.
Yeah. But if it did, Jensen did a really good job running off to the right and getting away from it.
Yeah, I believe it does. All right, so they pick up the Drake here, and that is number 3 for Team Liquid stacking. Predator popped just to recover the vision here around Baron.
All right, well, vision control going Liquid's way as they get rid of all these wards. Scar's Bloom doesn't mean too much, and look at this Liquid. Still, they are the ones behind in gold. They're making all these really nice plays. They've been stacking Drakes, of course, that Infernal now in their midst as well. But we can still look at Sneaky, who is absolutely huge this game, and their team is on the gold lead.
I mean, he has his 3 core items plus the QSS and the Tahm Kench to keep him safe, who also has the QSS. So a lot of safety on this Ezreal, and a tremendous amount of damage going to be coming out from him at this point in the game. One thing I do want to talk about a little bit more, though, is Xmithie's build, the extension of that. He went for the Zeeks into the QSS, so he's building very little health, right? He has the health on his Cinderhulk, but nothing from that multiplier there. And as a result, yes, you have more utility, but you are going to be very squishy when directly focused down by these targets, especially a super fed Ezreal.
Well, Olleh getting bursted down right there by the Ezreal.
Another kill for Sneaky out of that one. A nice red buff goes over. I think that was, looks like Sneaky's wearing a red.
Yep.
Maybe he got that one.
Got it all.
Nicely done by him. Gets everything in now. This could be a Baron attempt. Keep in mind, again, you mentioned Xmithie, very squishy.
Yeah, they definitely have a bit of a power play, but it's only Olleh, the support, picked off here. And Cloud9, a little trepid around this Baron. It's been tricky for both sides here. And Licorice, while he does have the Training Force in addition to the Ravenous Hydra and Fiora, he can't really get in onto the turret.
Oh, Baron rush.
Gonna try to rush this one down. There is no obvious direct vision. Xmithie does have Flash, does have Smite Redemption, reveals what's going on there.
They don't want a 50-50 this.
No, they don't, but if they can find a way to knock them out of the pit, looks like it's not gonna happen. And that means they will run away. Health bar's a bit lower on Cloud9's side. Oh, and the fight actually, as Licorice walked over to try to save the team and join the fight down to only 900 HP, has to pop the ult to run away faster.
Yeah, and then Impact runs away so that he's not gonna get the move speed to run, but there's no extra potential for catching him there. That is a decent flash blown. Impact did just use his as well, though. Here we go. Now it's Team Liquid's turn to take control of the dancing arena.
I mean, it's Licorice who has his TP available. And we saw last game how these teams would go back and forth, trying to force the teleport, the global usage out of each other's top laners to really get positional map advantage.
And a bit of an update since we keep seeing these Ryze ultimates used. Oh, never mind, binding.
Oh, that's going to be a nice one there. Smoothie caught up in the front. Black
boy,
killed on. They're going to pull him back in. Fuse has to run away. Impact in the front line, pulls him right back in. Puts on the Grey Health shield, but steps in a Caitlyn trap, and the flash comes in too late to stay alive. A quick slow at a Pobelter, but Jensen running away will stay up. Nice kill, though, on the Cloud9 support. Smoothie missing everything.
And that pick is going to make up for the teleport discrepancy. Team Liquid can just start up Baron, and we'll see if Cloud9 make the call.
It's going to be so tough, though, if Licorice has to TP into this. I don't know if they can take the fight, so Licorice is just going to keep pushing.
1,000 health, and Sven can't even join in a good smite. Lands in the end. Olleh at 5 health. Can they find the re-engage? Not just yet, but he's at 5. One more shot would do him in. Oh, it's the catch in the front line. A QSS and a flash. Negan trying to get away from this one. Running away as a turret falls to the other side of the map. A nice pickup, though, as Double gets the kill. And he finds the second, as Sven's going to fall also. Now Jensen to stop some recalls, but even still, the Fiora is no longer fighting the base.
Yeah, Licorice was trying to split push during that. They were trying to buy some time, but got a little bit too close, and Team Liquid pounced.
And as a result, Team Liquid get not only the Baron, but they get 3 kills. They're probably going to get just straight up a mid inhibitor here with Sneaky down for a long time. And they have just lost perhaps too much in this one.
And heal comes down for Olleh, and that's going to be, yes, the inhibitor turret falling 20 seconds on meaningful respawn, so inhibit self will also drop. And Liquid went from a deficit of 20 minutes to now a pretty sizable 2,000 gold lead plus Baron at 30.
And they got so much after that just because Olleh took so much damage, and they were able to keep him at the center of the herd, protect him from all the skill shots, and kind of bait in some more kills here. Let's take another look, because Sneaky does do a large amount of burst damage to Olleh, but then that ends up baiting them a little bit. Gets off the Zhonya's here, and then they get a little close. Impact then instantly going to turn afterwards. Man, that was very close, the skill shot.
Really, really close to getting that kill. And I think C9, the call here is delay them. Let Licorice have enough time to try to hopefully get something from the base. C9 want to dance back and forth, but as a result, they're just going to lose on both sides. And it's just going to get tougher and tougher, because with a Baron buff, Fiora doesn't get to split anymore. She has to join for team fights, and that is where it is so hard to succeed on this champion.
Greater than average power play then for Team Liquid here. 2,000 gold is going to stretch pretty soon. Bot lane 2-2 falls, and the defense going to be so incredibly difficult for Cloud9. Predator pop once again, looking for the pull on the front line. Not going to get much yet, but this turret's at half HP. Banner of Command not needed, still putting shots down on this turret, getting lower and lower and lower over time. Who can really stop this one? Nice by Xmithie, walks into tanks and mystic shots. This time around will give it away. But that turret at about 1/5 now.
Team Liquid continue the siege here. This minion wave should be it.
The goop is in, they find the knockback on a Smoothie. Look at the damage output on the front lines as well. And just the damage output, that's unstoppable for DoubleLift. He's killed off the jungler. Smoothie gone as well, 5 versus 3. Zeke's convergence there, looking for a bit more towards Jensen, gonna find a bit more of a slow. And a stun as well. There's the find, riposte from Fiora, but doesn't matter for Licorice. The base now being attacked from both lanes of minions coming in. First turret's gonna fall, second one a drop right after. Liquid looking to make it a 2-0 start. 1 to go, and Liquid will make it into the top 4.
And that one, a clean victory for Team Liquid. Sneaky was the hope of Cloud9 there, with the Ezreal getting a very big individual lead. But Team Liquid team play able to trump them in the end. A lot of really good engages from Impact, picking people off.
I mean, so impressive that Impact on this Singe, there were what, 5 bans levied towards him?
Even more.
Maybe even more. He has 100% KP on the Singe. He had a very, very impressive game. Despite the fact that they were attacking him multiple times early on in the start of the game, he's able to not only hold his own in the lane, but playing the map better once again, and he is really shining in this game.
Impact playoff buff. It's in full effect right now.
Gotta patch that out.
And that was the funny thing, is we heard the analysts talk about win conditions. If it is playoff buff Impact, you've got to put some pressure top lane and try to turn him off. But the problem was that first blood tower dive turned into 2 kills for Liquid, which is of course a heartbreaker, but it seems like that matchup never recovered. So, nice try by Cloud9. Liquid, though, playing better so far on the day, and they are 1 game away from taking the series. To hear more about that game to win, let's send it down to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. 2-0 lead here for Team Liquid in our best of 5 for the day. For Cloud9, things are starting to look pretty scary as they elected to go to blue side, stuck with the 3 top lane bans, yet still weren't able to snag a victory here this time around.
Yeah, we see that they agreed that Ryze was a high priority pick. And when you look at their team composition, they wanted to get Firoa ahead and then use, I think, Tahm Kench and Ryze to make it show that was impossible to shut down. This gank goes awry. They don't get the execute when they wanted to. It means Svenskeren dies, but they still actually seem to have a decent handle on the collapses in this game.
Yeah, the Ryze pick was working out pretty well for Jensen, was able to influence some stuff down the bot lane and in the top side, but because the Singed had gotten a couple kills all over the map, he starts getting very tanky and can make plays like this where he dives into the enemy team, gets his aftershock, has his ult on, gets unbelievably tanky, and is able to bait this team into staying on top of his poison, plus Cassio's poison, which, by the way, looked very similar with that skin.
Yes.
Hard to tell what you're on. And then this objective control with the Caitlyn is what ends up winning TL the game again here. This time around, they have a little bit more initiation after they had already picked off the Tahm Kench, who have been big in keeping people alive.
In all reality, another close game, though, between these two squads, right? The early games, they were trading kills back and forth, so it was about who would use those advantages, better. And again, C9 finds themselves with a gold lead and a loss at the end of the game.
And this series has been really weird to me because the team compositions are not dictating how the teams play in game.
Okay.
The Caitlyn Morg is picked because you want to bully that lane, and you can see DoubleLift did win, but him and Olleh kind of lost that lane, and Olleh died a lot in the mid game, whereas you have the Cloud9 team that picked this huge split push composition, but didn't use Ryze ult proactively, didn't use Tahm Kench ult proactively, and ended up grouping with all these split push tools, which did allow Team Liquid to come back, but just not really playing towards their strengths, if they're going to pick that team composition.
Right, absolutely. Now, to be fair, they did at least bring in that Firoa for Licorice in the top lane, so giving him a little bit of agency, and yet he was the one who accrued the most deaths through that early game, so still struggling a little bit with where he needs to be and when it comes to helping his team along to victory.
Yeah, you saw that slight auto attack cancel in that top dive, and it's one of those things where like Team Liquid probably saw this coming to an extent. Like this is what they did when they were most successful on C9 side, triple banning tops. We know Licorice mostly plays tanks, so they'll probably try and ban out our tanks, and it feels like they were ready for this to an extent. They had the Swain in game 1, the Singed here. They might have been building up some pocket picks for impact in this series.
All right, well, there you have it. Team Liquid feeling good as they're one game away from sweeping Cloud9. Time to see if they can extend the series after the break.
Oh, they're going to sleep, it feels like.
They might, yeah, exactly.